Hello, my amazing art friends. Today we're going to be learning about a new artist. His name was James Rizzi. James Rizzi was an American pop artist who lived in Brooklyn, New York. And we're going to learn all about him in just a little bit, but we're going to be looking at his cityscapes. A cityscape is a picture of the city. And so we're going to take a peek at his work and look at the space and how he layers the buildings and all the different elements of his artwork, and then we're going to create our own version. So let's get started. This is the American pop artist James Rizzi. He was born and raised in Brooklyn, New York, and his artwork is very much influenced by the cities around him. He takes these plain old buildings and gives them life. He gives each one of his buildings a different character with different shapes and makes sure to show lots and lots of overlapping. So we're going to continue to look at his work and create our own cityscape today, inspired by James Rizzi. Looking at James Rizzi's artwork, you can see that he has some buildings overlapping. So he's showing space. In particular, he's showing the foreground, middle ground, and background. So the foreground is the front. So those are all the buildings that are in the front. But then he has some buildings that are going behind those, like these little guys back here. And so because they're behind the ones in front, he's showing space. He's showing that they're further away. And so those are in the middle ground. And then our background would be the sky. And so we need to make sure that we're showing the foreground, middle ground, and background in our cityscape today. And you can see each one of James Rizzi's buildings has a different face and a different character. So we're gonna be adding those today as well. So to start, we're gonna need a blank sheet of paper and our pencil, and you can have your paper landscape or horizontal, or you can have it vertical or portrait, either way. I'm going to start with my landscape today, and to start we have to make our buildings in the foreground, which is the front. So I'm going to start by making just some different shapes. Your lines don't have to be perfectly straight. This is abstract art. James Rizzi's lines aren't straight either, and that's okay. Our buildings can be weird shapes, but we also have to make sure that our buildings are big. I can't make a little building down here. He's too small. I have to be able to make it really big to fill up the space and to make sure I have room to make faces and all my extra details. I'm gonna make one more. It's gonna be a little shorter down here. So now I have a couple buildings in the front, and so now I need to make my middle ground. So I'm gonna start to add my buildings behind it. And I'm gonna do that by just drawing on top. So I can draw in the middle. And now I can see that this building is going behind these two. These two are in front of it. I'm gonna make another one. I'm gonna see part of it down here. It's going off the page, that's okay too. All right, so now I have a couple in the middle ground. I'll even make one or two more over here. There. So now I have my buildings laid out, and I can start to make my faces. I'm showing overlapping and different space, and now I can do the fun part, which is their face. So James Rizzi gives each one of his buildings a unique character. You can look at his buildings and look at the pictures that are posted in your Schoology to get ideas if you want to make them silly, or this one's gonna be crazy, woo! So there's one face. I can even give him eyebrows or extra details, kind of like hair on my building, even though we know that buildings don't have hair. It's okay. And I'm just gonna go through and give each one a unique character. And I also have to give them windows. Oh my goodness, I almost forgot. And the windows don't have to look perfect either. The windows can be weird, crazy shapes. Like, for example, we have an X window, a cloud window. That's up to you. You can do whatever you want. So today we're focusing on drawing our buildings, making sure to show overlapping and our foreground, middle ground, and background. All right, after you add all those details on your buildings, we're going to make our faces, and then we can add our windows. So that's our goal today, is just to get our buildings, our cityscape drawn. Okay, so here you can see I went and gave each one of my buildings different windows, different face, different expressions, and I just spent some time working on those, and that is what I want you to do today. So make sure that you get all of your buildings. Each one has a different face and different windows, and then I want you to snap a picture and upload it to Schoology so I can see your awesome cityscape. Happy creating!